Mazz's tears.
Yeah, those are the tears of a clown.
Mazz's tears.
The second tier.
Hold on, let me get my pen.
Mazz's tears.
Dallas. Buffalo. Tennessee.
Mazz's tears.
Third tier.
Okay, here we go. Hold on, let me get my pen.
Mazz's tears. Tears. Tears.
Thursday means it's time for Mazz's Tears, brought to you by the Bernardi Auto Group. When it comes to auto dealers, the Bernardi Auto Group always finishes top tier first with Mazz. That's because they sell and service Acura, Audi, Honda, Toyota, and Volvo. Bernardi for now, Bernardi for life.
Mazz's tears.
Find them now at BernardiAutoGroup.com. Again, I like the results of Super Bowl 59. I can understand why most people didn't, because it was a blowout, boring, not much of a game. So what is today's theme, Mazz?
Bad Super Bowls, worst Super Bowls in history. I thought this game sucked, Murray, frankly, and I'm not telling you it was one of the 5 worst Super Bowls of all time, but it warranted consideration for this list. So here's how we did it this week. And again, by worst Super Bowls, to me, this comes down to non-competitive games or games that were a complete, total bore to watch.
Gotcha.
So, for example, and by the way, I did this post-1980.
So I'm glad you said the bore part, because there's one I really hope is on here somewhere.
Okay, so I say post-1980 because, for example, I would argue the Super Bowl, and I didn't watch it, so I can't really comment on it, but I can tell you by the nature of it, the one that concluded the undefeated season by the Dolphins, they won like 17-14 or 14. It was, I think the game kind of sucked. Based on what I understand, the only reason that game had any sort of significance is because it completed the undefeated season. Sure. But it felt to me like the game was kind of a dog.
Yeah, I've never even really seen highlights of that, so I guess I don't know.
So that's the one where Gary Apremian screws up the field goal and tries to
okay, yeah.
And I think it's Mike Bass returns it. That was at the time the Redskins' only touchdown in that game. But I will also tell you that it did occur to me there was a theme that developed throughout this for me. Here's what I did. I did the 15 worst games, 5 in each tier.
Gotcha.
The worst are in tier 1. Okay, so those are the worst of the worst. So we're going to start in tier 3 and work our way up to the 5 suckiest games in Super Bowl history.
Going back to 1980.
Since 1980. All right.
Okay, so tier 3. Super Bowl 15. Raiders 27, Eagles 10. Game sucked. Sucked. In fact,
this is 82, I think.
Yeah, and the one with the Raiders a short time thereafter also sucked, 38-9 over Washington. I think that's the one where, was it Theismann who threw the pass to his left? It was like a screen pass. The guy picked it off at like the 5-yard line and walked into the end zone. Do you remember that? Or was that the Philly game?
I'm not sure.
It was one of those 2 Super Bowls, complete, total bloodbath, useless. When I was growing up, Murray, and I'm a little older than you, and I could be McCarthy's father for crying out loud. The Super Bowl was annually a dog event.
No doubt.
The Super Bowls in the 80s were complete garbage.
Oh, I remember.
Okay, Super Bowl 22, Washington 42, Denver 10. I think that was the game where Washington scored 35 points in the second quarter.
That's correct.
Denver got out to a 10-point lead, which was, in the first quarter at the time,
stunning.
The biggest Super Bowl comeback ever, 10 points, which held for 55 years, essentially.
It's the Doug Williams Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, exactly right. And this is the beginning of the theme. I came to the conclusion rather quickly that just about any time Denver was in the Super Bowl, the game sucked.
I can't believe this one you hear is in Tier 3.
Okay, and that is, when I say Denver sucked, obviously they won a couple. I'm talking about the game. When Denver lost non-competitively or uncompetitively. The Broncos were awful. Super Bowl 24, 49ers 55, Broncos 10.
Woof.
A dog of a game.
I remember this like yesterday, and I remember it was like it began my hate of Super Bowls because it's like, this is what this game is. This is atrocious. I thought this should be Tier 1.
Okay, and you might be right. It could be. I kind of love Joe Montana. So if Montana was playing, I was in.
No, really. You love Joe Montana.
But Rice won the MVP in this game, right?
I think that is correct. I think that was the Jerry Rice MVP game. And then the other one, again, so 3 of them on this tier involved the Broncos. The last one as well, Super Bowl 48. Seattle 43, Denver 8.
I wouldn't have this on the tiers at all. I loved this game.
Okay, so again, because you hated the Broncos and you hated Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
So that was Manning's first trip to the Super Bowl with the Broncos. They got absolutely poleaxed
They got waltzed.
in that game. So let's go to tier 2. Again, tier 2.
Worst Super Bowls since 1980.
Super Bowl 29, San Francisco 49, San Diego 26. It wasn't that close. Steve Young, I think, threw
5 touchdowns.
I think it was 6, Murray.
Was it 6? Okay.
I think it was 6 touchdown passes. The only reason this one wasn't in tier 1 is this is the game that Young sort of got rid of the Joe Montana.
That's the monkey off my back.
Exactly.
That clip.
You got it.
This would be, for me, these were my tiers, these are Mazz's tiers, number 1. The most useless Super Bowl I ever watched. We already knew what the outcome was going to be before they even kicked off. The Chargers had no chance in that game.
Super Bowl 55.
Oh, you hate fun.
Boo.
Tampa Bay 31, Kansas City 9. The game was useless.
The greatness of Tom Brady doesn't belong off the list.
It was useless. It was a useless game. It was non-competitive. Again, the Chiefs were never in it. They had no offensive line. You knew going in they weren't going to be able to handle Tampa Bay's defensive front.
Oh, I wouldn't. I think that's a
revisionist history.
Way revisionist history on that.
That's a great night. Boo.
Super Bowl 59, Eagles 40, Chiefs 22. That's the one we just played.
Yep.
Yeah.
That game sucked too. Horrible. And in fact, the Chiefs are another one that when they lose, they kind of lose big.
Yeah, a couple of legacy moments here for Patrick Mahomes. I don't think these should be on the list. I think there's actual real value to both of those games, Mazz.
Super Bowl 37, also on the list. Tampa Bay 48, the Raiders 21.
I agree with this one. This was a terrible game.
This was the Gruden Bowl. Non-competitive. Non-competitive. And Super Bowl 41, Colts 29, Bears 17.
This game sucked.
Great start, great halftime show. That's it.
Well, who was the halftime show?
Prince.
Oh, was it?
And Devin Hester had the kickoff return to start the game.
Okay.
Started off ridiculous, but that's a bad game.
And then it was over. It was a rainy night, too, in Miami, if I remember right. Yep. And, the Colts didn't really play all that well, but they won easily.
Correct.
Because the Bears did not put up a fight. It was a suck game. It was Peyton Manning's first Super Bowl win. It was a complete suck game, if you ask me. Now, let's go to Tier 1.
Tier 1.
These, to me, are the dogs of the dogs. This, to me, might be literally number 1 on the list.
I'm so happy you have this on here. This was the one.
Sucked.
This was the one.
Steelers 21, Seahawks 10. I don't think I can name one play from that Super Bowl.
Antoine Randall.
Yeah, Antoine Randall throwing the touchdown. Do you know what Roethlisberger's numbers are in this game?
No idea.
I should have them tattooed. This Super Bowl pissed me off so badly. He threw for like $120 with 2 interceptions.
And they won.
And it still might be, to this day, like one of the worst performances by a quarterback for a winning team in Super Bowl history. Garbage. I hate that game so much.
So again, now, quality of football.
Trash.
It's like a preseason game.
Awful.
It was terrible. And Matt Hasselbeck was the quarterback of the Seahawks.
That is correct.
Right?
Yep.
The Seahawks were so bad and so unworthy of being, and I say so bad, historically speaking, they did not deserve to be in that game.
No.
Okay? Super Bowl 20, it's an easy one.
Yep.
Bears 46, Patriots 10. One of the great mismatches of all time. Super Bowl 53, Patriots 13, Rams 3.
It shouldn't be
It's
up
a good
there on
game.
the Tier 1.
The game sucked.
The game was competitive.
Yeah.
I don't care if it was competitive. It was a complete total bore.
Too many punts for Mazz.
The game sucked. It was a horrible game.
Not enough offense. The game
Horrible,
was too defensive.
horrible, bad football game, bad play. There was one pass play in the game that was worth a damn. It was a pass to Gronkowski that set up the touchdown. The rest of the game sucked.
It's not a great game, but it's not a Tier 1 game from 9. I mean, some of the games you had in Tier 3, Mazz, come on.
Ravens 34, Giants 7,
Another
Super Bowl
bad one.
35. That was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Kerry Collins was the starting quarterback for the Giants.
Jim
was.
Fossil
Okay.
is the head coach of the Giants as well. Yeah.
So think of that.
Yeah, right. No,
Okay.
that's a trash game.
That tells you everything you need to know.
Going
Kerry
up against that defense,
right.
too.
Complete, just manhandled.
34-7. I'm actually shocked it was that close.
That game could have been like 60-0.
Oh, God.
And Cowboys 52, Bills 17. By then, the Bills were one of the great disappointments in the league. That was Super Bowl 27. You just knew they were going to screw up the game. The Cowboys were a wagon. It was never even close. Buffalo got blown off the field. The game was a complete waste of time.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.